Hey everybody, hope that you're doing well. Today I've been thinking a lot about B-roll and how it's such a huge part of what we do as video creators. It helps us show what we're talking about, it keeps the content exciting, and it helps tell our story. Well, here's 5 ways that I think that you can shoot some interesting and creative B-roll. One way to create some interesting B-roll is actually by shooting through something or having something close to the lens. This is used all the time by cinematographers and photographers. It's kind of a nice little trick. What you can do is if you have some clear bottles or clear glasses, you can shoot through those. It creates a bit of a distortion on your subject, and it's a way for you to reveal your subject as well. Here I have some small LED lights that I placed in front of the lens. I can move them around so it helps frame my subject. It just adds a bit more to the frame. By shooting through something or having something in front of the lens, it helps you frame your subject a bit better. It creates a lot of depth in your image, and I think it just ups your production value. A slider is a great way to create some dynamic B-roll shots. I purchased my slider from this company called Rhino. Basically, I can attach my own tripod head onto the slider and create some really smooth moves with it. I can also use some of their accessories like the Rhino Motion and Rhino Arc. And with that, I can just program my move into the controller and it'll give me the same shot every single time. With a slider, you can move from side to side, you can go up and down, you can push into your subject, you can also go at an angle and create some interesting looks. One cool thing that I purchased a long time ago for my GorillaPod are these things called Cine Skates. They attach to the bottom of the GorillaPod, and I can create some really unique moves with it. So if you don't have the budget for a slider, there are still some things that you can do to create some unique moves. You can actually place a towel down on a flat surface and your camera on top of there, and you just pull slowly and it creates a nice sliding effect. Another thing that you can do is actually use a computer chair. Most of those have wheels on the bottom. As long as you have a flat surface, you can create some interesting looks as well. Lighting is a great way to create some interesting B-roll, whether that's using existing lighting or setting up some lights of your own. You can shape the light so it frames your subject, you can use it to create some really nice contrast, and you can use it to pull your viewer's attention to your main subject. So let's say that you have kind of a boring background, let's say maybe a flat wall or something, and it just doesn't look really nice to you. One thing that you can do is actually point a light towards that background and put something in front of it. Sometimes that's called a cookie. You can go out and purchase those if you'd like, but they do cost quite a bit. So what you can do is create your own. You can use cardboard or whatever material that you have, but just remember if you're using a really hot light that these things can catch on fire, so just be careful with them. Now if you want a really soft shadow in the background, you can move that pattern close to the light. Now if you want more of a hard edge shadow, you need to pull it further away from the light and it'll create a little bit more of a darker shadow there. It just brings a little bit more to the frame and just makes it a little bit more pleasing. Using different angles with your camera is actually a great way to create some interesting B-roll. When I'm shooting an interview, one shot that I like to get is actually having a camera with a wide angle lens showing the interview setup. I normally use a GoPro for this as it's small and not distracting, and I don't want to break the concentration of the person being interviewed. With a GoPro you can get all sorts of creative angles. It fits into a lot of spots that a bigger camera can't. Think of some of the creative angles that you can use to help tell your story. Lastly, let's talk about macro shots. These shots are a great way to show the detail in your subject that you maybe just couldn't capture with your normal lenses. Now you can use a macro lens for this. You can also buy adapters to place on your lenses to create this macro effect. So another interesting way to get this shot is by taking a second lens and flipping it around so it's opposite of the way that you'd normally hold it. You place it in front of the lens on your camera and you get that macro type effect. Now it's not the most effective way to get this shot, but you still get an interesting shot nonetheless. I hope these tricks help you in shooting some of your own B-roll. If you have any creative ways that you like to shoot your own B-roll and like to share, go ahead and leave them in the comments below so we can check them out. But thanks again for watching, hit that like button if you like this video, subscribe if you'd like, and I'll catch you on the next one.